What could you tell veteran entrepreneurs that are trying, have something as far as resources? I mean, there's a lot more resources out today in 2020 than 1995. Maybe the barrier to entry is a little bit lower. The cost of entry is a little bit lower. You could get a product to market, and not just a product meaning a website or an online product, but there's a whole bunch of resources you have access to. Am I right on that?
Yeah. So in 95, and this is actually in the book, it costs about $5 million to create a startup. So fast forward to today, it costs about $5,000 to create that same startup.
That's a different barrier of entry.
It's a 99% reduction in cost and time.
Wow.
So that's why you see there'll be so much more failure, because it's so easy to actually start a business.
And failure is good to a certain extent, right?
Failure is good.
Because?
Failure is good because Edison failed so many times. Dyson failed so many times. To get to success, part of that equation is failure. So the reality is I've failed at more businesses than I've been successful at. You know, some would say I'm successful. I can tell you there's also people in this world that would say I'm a failure. Regardless, it's moving forward. And I think that's the mindset and innovation around being exponential. And I think you tap into the second point here is really being someone that is okay with failure to move forward, which has historically been something that Europeans and even Asians have really shunned, that are now starting to open up. And that's where you're seeing them actually start to create some very large businesses.
You know, that could be a mindset in the military saying, you know, we can't failure. You know, there's this failure is not an option. And then you come to entrepreneurship and it's, not only is it an option, you're probably going to fail if you're going to jump in.
Yeah, well, but I think it's the persistence and willpower of veterans to overcome failure.
Right.
You know, the reality is we shouldn't really call it failure. Like, mistakes are learning opportunities.
Right.
They're points to move forward. At the end of the day, you know, the idea that you thought you had to start a company is going to be completely different by the time it becomes a company.
Amen.
And in that process, you're going to fail forward, but you're going to actually make a lot of mistakes. The more mistakes, the fast, and the reality of what an accelerator has done and evidence-based innovation has created is the faster you fail, the faster you actually reach success.